Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the After Whistle podcast. I'm your host, Joseph Agundis.
I'm Murray Bell.
And I'm Casey Bechtel.
Looks like we have a special guest today, Murray.
Yeah, it looks like Pudge literally just jumped up here. So who knows how long he'll stay.
I'm going to start off today with something that I thought was funny that I saw on Instagram just as I was waiting for you guys to get into the Zoom room. It's the meme of Jonah Hill from Moneyball saying, Billy, this is whoever.
Yeah.
It's Billy, this is Deshaun Watson. We gave up 3 first-round picks for him. He makes $230 million fully guaranteed. His defect is that he's really bad at playing quarterback. And then it looks like somebody like quoted the tweet or whatever on the Instagram thing. And it says, what makes the meme even funnier is that Jonah Hill's character is based on Paul the Pasta.
Yeah, who's like why.
Yeah. I like it says who became an executive for the Browns and was instrumental in the acquiring Watson. That's hilarious.
I really liked, I saw PFT said it, that Deshaun Watson is now a worse football player than person. And I thought that was really funny.
I saw that too.
I think they're going to bench him for Winston.
If he keeps playing bad, he will.
They're just paying him so much money.
But I mean, what do? You gonna just keep rolling him out there and losing?
What was his 15 yards down the field? Wasn't he statistically the worst quarterback performance ever?
I'm sure.
There was some about that I saw. I don't know how true that is.
There's nothing good you could say about what he did this week.
Especially off the field.
Yeah, he got in more trouble.
Yeah, another one.
But I think we just don't know how the Browns operate. Like if they're like we're paying him, we gotta play him, or if they're like, okay, we gotta win. I
think Jameis is better.
And this is just being a Jameis fan. Let's just see what he's got at least. I don't know.
I love Jameis.
The roster is talented. Like the Browns could be good.
Yeah. Like I think they went in
at least.
I think they went into the game and they just got down so fast that they couldn't use the run game as much as they wanted to.
Ford had a good game though.
Yeah, but it was garbage time.
Yeah, it was all garbage.
Full PPR, 18 points though. I mean,
yeah, no, he had a good game. I'm not saying that he didn't, but like it was garbage time where he shined.
I get you.
If you get him involved early, and you're giving the ball more because they were throwing a lot.
They were.
All right. Well, who we juiced about after last week? Week 1 in the NFL, week 2 in college.
Start us off.
I'm juiced up about Baker Mayfield, man. My start of the week goes out there and rips 4 touchdowns. Could have been a waiver wire guy. I hope you started
him. We got him in the because Love went down. We got him in the Chop League. Baker.
There you go. That's huge.
Did you survive, Murray? Have you survived?
We did. It was crazy. So going into the Monday night game, we needed 7 out of Kittle to be safe, which he obviously got. But that's not a gimme.
Yeah.
But what was crazier is I hadn't even thought about it. The guy that had McCaffrey was down 10 points. In my head, I'm like, McCaffrey's going to get 10 points. I hadn't even thought, because we hadn't heard about the injury or anything like that. We hadn't even heard about him not playing. So I didn't even take it into consideration that this guy might not go through. So we didn't even end up needing the Kittle points because the McCaffrey.
He didn't get Mason or?
It's an 18-man league. He was rostered already.
Okay.
Yeah, but he didn't draft. Like he should have drafted.
Yeah, no, he didn't draft Mason or anything like that.
Yeah, that's what he should have done.
Yeah, he should have. I don't know about everyone. I had no idea McCaffrey.
In an 18-man league, handcuffs are just even more important than they are.
Oh, than ever, absolutely.
Especially Monday night, week 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was tough, but I'm gonna be juiced up about the guy that took a spot, Mr. Madison.
Mason.
I mean that was, what was it?
Mason.
Jordan
Madison.
They keep calling him JP. I don't know what's up with that. Those aren't his initials at all. But either way, because in the post-game interview, I kept hearing Purdy call him JP, and I didn't get that. But either way.
Middle name, probably.
Mason. I mean, that was just to come up like that in a big-time spot against a not bad Jets defense and to perform like that. I think it's got to worry you if you have McCaffrey a little bit that if he comes back, look, I get he's still McCaffrey. He's the number one back in football and blah, blah, blah. But, maybe we see not a true split backfield there coming up, but a little bit more so than what we've seen out of San Francisco with Elijah Mitchell the last couple of years.
Well, and I think because McCaffrey's banged up, they're not gonna, and they're gonna still win games. They showed that they can still win games without McCaffrey, so they're gonna push. They're just gonna, McCaffrey just chill for a little bit. As a football standpoint, it's a right play.
I don't have the idea if they can keep winning games. Shit, sit him out the first 6 weeks or something like that.
Yeah, get him fully healthy.
Right. And especially even with just like you're coming off a long season last year, making a Super Bowl run. So you played a couple of extra games. Your goal is to be in the same situation this year, playing a extra game. I think any rest you can get McCaffrey at all.
Rest of he came out and he said that he feels good. He's ready to go. But they might healthy scratch him even if he's.
That's the thing. Even if he could play, if he's 80-90%, why risk it? Sit him.
Why risk it and go get hurt against the Minnesota Vikings? That's the thing.
That's something I've been surprised about. Like last year and in years past, they give him the ball every time. Like last year, there was no split. It was all McCaffrey. Their offensive line and just offense in general is good enough to let any running back perform. Like you've seen, they have the most like undrafted free agent rookies who are just getting starts in NFL games, and they all perform well. Like they don't have to give McCaffrey the ball every play. They can use it when they need to, and then once you get to the playoffs, he has fresh legs and he's ready to go. As much as you need him.
You see it in baseball where they'll give pitchers a little bit of time off before the postseason or something like that. Maybe instead of every 5 starts, it's every 7 starts or something like that.
They used to do that with. I know Strasburg did that. He'd like have 20 starts early in the he'd go up to 20 starts and then they'd be like, all right, you're shut down till the playoffs.
They do that with the rookies a lot.
Yeah, they're doing it with Skeens right now, where obviously they're not in the postseason, but I think they said for the rest of the season he's just going to pitch once a week instead of every 5 starts.
Yeah.
So I don't hate doing something similar like that with McCaffrey, but yeah, just about Mason. That was cool to see.
Yeah, I was just about him too, because in the 2 leagues that I had McCaffrey, I plugged him in. I still lost just because I was down so much. But and then the future doctor Daniel Baldini got mad at me in one of the chats because I drafted Mason and he had McCaffrey. I didn't see it until after the game after I got home because I was working. TPC's doing the Inter Club right now, so I was just hanging out at DraftKings, but I was working, so I couldn't go on my phone. But yeah, it was he was mad that I drafted Jordan Mason.
I mean, understandable.
Oh, I sent him a text. I was like, "You want him? Just I'll trade him. I'm gonna ask for a lot, but."
Now, before we dive in, Casey, what is the not the loss as much? I don't think you can be worried about that game. The Eagles are just a good team. What are you gonna do?
No, and the thing is, they put up a lot of points, but our defense didn't look like bad. They have
I hear
great
you.
offense, obviously. I was actually at work, so I was just on and off. I watched the whole first quarter, first half almost, but then I was just kind of following the rest on the radio. And then I get home and I turn the TV on for one play and I see Jordan Love getting helped off the field. I mean, it sounds like LaFleur is keeping it optimistic that he could possibly play this week. I don't believe that so much. I think the timetable is more like 3 weeks. I do not trust Malik Willis. But I think maybe we could scrap out a couple games.
Yeah, the way I was looking at it, if you are if he's out, let's just 4 weeks is the number that I feel like has been tossed around. There's no way he plays this week.
No.
I think with Malik, if you can win 1 out of the 4, I think you're happy. If you win 2 out of the 4, I think you're really fired up.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think anything more than 4 is, or anything more than 2 out of 4 is just tremendous.
Yeah, you can't be mad. It's like the Cooper Rush thing when Dak went down that one for those like 5 weeks or whatever. when he came. I mean, I don't think Malik Willis is going to go win 4 out of 5, but still, like, you just kind of got to take what you can get. We'll take the wins that you can get, but I don't think Malik Willis will.
And if Love comes back and this team is 2-4, season's not over.
No, no.
Hey, he's got a Tennessee revenge game.
That's true. That's true. That's not this week.
No, the
Not
next.
this week. The
Next
Jets
week.
got Tennessee this
That's
week.
what I was looking at that.
No,
Yeah,
no, we have.
I was just curious to hear, as a Packers fan, your
Yeah,
thought.
no, we got the Colts this week. I think that's going to be a tough one.
I saw because the line was only one. You guys were plus 1.5.
Okay. Well, yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I was juiced up about Zeke, just looking like almost prime Zeke, because he was explosive.
Mhm.
I was at work during that game, but I had the game on behind me. So in the few, when I turn around, I'd see him. He looked pretty explosive. So I was pretty fired up about that. That's only gonna
Hurdle, you
last
see
for
the
about
hurdle?
5 weeks. What?
You see the hurdle?
Yeah,
He
yeah.
looked good.
He looked good, but it's only gonna last about 5 weeks. So get your
I don't know. I'm a believer in Zeke.
You think that he's not gonna slow down because he's,
I think
the
he'll
little,
slow down
like,
a little bit.
the injuries that you don't like hear about, like, oh, he's like, oh yeah, it's like I had some discomfort in my knee and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
that adds up. No, I think look, he's obviously too old to not slow up at all. I still think though, and I drafted him like this. We've talked about this. I think he's a guy that you can plug into that RB2, or if you're a double flex, maybe another flex spot for the majority of the season.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right. Well, let's get into this week 2 of the NFL. Did we have any trash pandas last week? I mean, I'm thinking Jerome Ford, because he just got garbage time. He got that garbage
Aiden
time
Daniels,
touchdown.
Aiden Daniels, and Jerome Ford.
Our
Daniels did score that touchdown late.
Aiden Daniels, I'm also pretty juiced about him because I drafted him just about everywhere. I don't care how bad he throws the ball. I just want to see him run.
I got an argument with my dad over Anthony Richardson and Jaden Daniels, because he was like, they're not good quarterbacks. I go, I don't care. They're good fantasy quarterbacks.
No, and that's the thing about both of them.
Yeah.
Daniel's too early, and Richardson we'll see. But yeah, I don't think either of them are good actual quarterbacks, fantasy wise. Though. Oh, I forgot someone I am juiced up about. Despite my slander, when I said this guy might be a butterfly, you guys said he proved it last year. He's not a butterfly. Derek Carr.
If you
You know
watch,
what?
if you
Hey,
watch the podcast,
our other
years.
butterfly, I saw a post saying like, don't be surprised if Sam Darnold is like Baker Mayfield last year
Yep.
and emerges out here. So hey, we could go 3 for 3 on butterflies. Week one.
The only one that didn't look good was Minshew.
Oh,
Yeah,
is
but
he a
that's
butterfly?
it's in the Raiders.
Of guys that we've mentioned as whether we've committed to them being a butterfly or not, I feel like our 4 are Baker, Darnold, Minshew, Carr.
Yeah, okay.
I feel like those are kind of our guys this year.
I only think of the 3. I don't think of
You don't think of Minshew?
I think of Minshew.
All right. Well, even better if we only think of those 3.
We might have talked about him when he was winning games for the Colts, but
that's fair. Either way, good week for the butterfly Derek Carr.
yeah, until he throws 3 picks against the Cowboys.
No, that's the thing. It's not sustainable. He'll play garbage.
Yeah. All right. All right. Getting into starts and sits this week. Casey, you want to start us off with a start?
Yeah, I can start us off. I like starting Jared Goff this week.
Ooh.
He's playing at home. Everybody knows his home road splits are, not great. The Bucks secondary has a ton of injuries. They got their safeties, their corners, just everyone's hurt. The Rams really keyed into Amon-Ra St. Brown. I think he's going to be more involved this game. I still think Jameson Williams is going to be involved again. They got Laporta. They have so many weapons. I think Goff's going to play well. And I think they're going to give him a chance to really throw the ball around this week. I like starting him.
All right.
I like it. I have I have three guys, but they're all they're all in one. DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, Roma Duzne. I'd start all three of them. Now, obviously, if you have all three of them on the same team, I wouldn't. I'm assuming chances are you wouldn't draft three Bears receivers. But so they're playing the Texans this week on Sunday Night Football. I just think that they're going to find themselves down in this game. I think the Texans are going to be scoring a lot of points. So I think that I think they're going to be throwing the ball a lot just because I think they're going to be losing. And because of that, and we saw it with Indy last week, that Texans defense was giving up some explosive plays in the pass game. Some deep passes. So I like all three of those guys this week just because I think that they're going to be throwing the ball a lot because they're going to be losing.
Is Dunze gonna play?
If he doesn't play, I think
If he doesn't play, I like the other two even more.
it's a DJ. I think it's a DJ Moore day on Sunday night.
I think I wouldn't be surprised if DJ and Keenan score a touchdown.
Yeah. I mean, Keenan dropped that one, right?
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't watching.
Texans defense didn't look great. I just think the Bears are going to be throwing it a lot.
Yeah. I mean, we could see a high scoring game on Sunday night with the Bears wearing their orange unis. Oh, I hate those. Yeah, my start this week is he kind of proved himself to be, getting more of the carries last week against the Falcons is Najee Harris against the bad Denver Broncos run D. He got 20 carries for 70 yards. If he catches a touchdown, or if he not catches a touchdown, if he runs a touchdown in, I mean, he had a good fantasy day for him. So
he had a really good game. I was impressed.
Yeah, 70 yards and then one catch for like 9 yards or whatever it was. But still, if he hauls in a few more catches maybe and then gets if he gets 20 carries again, he'll have it I think at least 15 to 20 points. I think he scores this week. So yeah. Casey, you got next?
Yeah, I have Keon Coleman. Sometimes it takes a little while for rookies to get involved. He didn't have a great day, but he was the Bills' wide receiver one in routes, targets, catches, and yards. And he had 2 targets in the end zone. He drew a big PI. Like those are things that you don't really think too much about, but he was their leading wide receiver in all those categories. And I think he could be one of those rookies to have an early breakout. So I like starting him this week.
All right. All right.
Those were the only three I had.
Okay. I have another Bills receiver who I thought he looked like he was playing hard, which I liked, is Khalil Shakur. He did get in the end zone last week. I like starting him tonight. Hopefully we see a high scoring game tonight. So I think you just got to start your Bills, either Kincaid, Keon Coleman, or Shakur. And I don't know about Curtis Samuel. I don't think he didn't get a lot last week. I was kind of wrong about him. But yeah, I like Shakur. I think he might find the end zone again.
All right.
And then,
Yeah, I also like starting Tony Pollard this week. He was getting the RB1 work, 62% of the snaps. He had 16 carries. Spears had 4. If he's getting the RB1 volume, you should start him every week. Is kind of how I feel about him.
I don't know how they blew that game. That was so bad.
That was
yeah.
awful.
Another guy kind of like that I think is in kind of the same situation as Pollard. Start J.K. Dobbins. He showed it last week. He's back, kind of. I mean, 130 yards and touchdown.
I think he's just definitely won over Edwards there.
Yeah, I think he's the better running back, and he just never got his chance in Baltimore.
Dude's just slow.
Who? Edwards?
I mean, he's had those knee surgeries and stuff like that.
Yeah.
He got
still ran for 130
Yeah, he was
yards.
trying to break it into the open. Had to unhitch the trailer. He couldn't get there.
Yeah, it's all right. Yeah, sits going into sits. I mean,
My first sit and similar kind of to last week where I hit with Jamar, thank God, because my start with Christian Kirk was real bad. I'm sitting DK Metcalf this week.
Okay.
I think New England is gonna say what you want. Their defense is at least okay.
Their defense,
Defense is
they
good.
surprised New England surprised me. I think
And I'm a big Christian Gonzalez guy. I think he is legitimately like a top 10 corner in football. I'd feel confident saying that. And I think that when he's on DK, he's going to do a good job. I don't think Seattle's very good. I think in New England, it's, I'm not, I don't, yeah.
I'm glad that he switched his number from 6 to 0. I think 0 is a much better number.
0 looks much better.
It just looks better. I'm not a big I think only quarterbacks and kickers and punters should be like single digits unless it's like 1. I like receivers having 1 and 0. Doesn't look bad. But any other I just don't like.
The 0 looks good for him. Yeah, I like him though. I think he's one of the few bright spots on this team. And I'm not going to go as far to say shut DK down, but I think he'll limit him.
I got a sit that is also connected to DK Metcalf of what happened last week. Pat Surtain shut down DK Metcalf. I think he does it again this week against George Pickens. I think it's going to be a run-heavy day for the Steelers, and Pickens is really their only option. So, I mean, maybe Freiermuth has a big game, but I think they're going to run the ball a lot, and do little dump offs, and Justin Fields is going to run the ball if Justin Fields is playing. I'm assuming that he's starting.
Who knows?
Who knows? So, yeah, I sit George Pickens. Unless you can't, like, if
Of course,
you gotta play him. But like, if you have, like, I have the option to sit him, I'm gonna sit him.
All right. I'm sitting all Packers wide receivers this week. I'll tell you that. As long as Jordan Love is down, I mean, maybe we can see after one game and feel it out. But this week, you just have no idea. I think Jaden Reed could still be involved because they love to give him those little end arounds and stuff.
Little sweeps.
But I think it's all a little bit too risky. If you have a safer bet, you should definitely put him in.
My last sit is Brandon Ayuk. He looked off last week. The timing was bad. He didn't look like he was. Yeah, no, that's the money is obviously a factor. And I think he'll figure it out and get going. I don't know if we'll see him quite as productive as we ever saw him last year. I just think last year might have been like his year. But I think that we'll see him eventually get closer to those numbers. However, I think against Minnesota, again, where you might find yourself up big, they might be running the ball a lot late, not throwing it as much. And with the timing and his performance last week, I wouldn't want to see him in the lineup this week.
Yeah. I got Javonte Williams. I mean, dude, you're supposed he has all this hype around him, and he had 3 fantasy points last week. And I know they were down, but still, like, they weren't down a lot.
Played real bad.
Yeah. So he has to prove it to me. He's like starting to get on my droppable list. I'm holding on to him because I usually do this where I drop a guy and then next 2 weeks he goes off and I miss out on him. So I'm gonna keep him for a little bit, but yeah,
Yeah, he was on my board too. He lost a lot of work to McLaughlin. McLaughlin was pretty inefficient with it and didn't do much, but just the fact that he caught like, what was it, 5 or 6 passes or something like that for like 1 yard. But still, the fact that he's the guy that they were liking using. Javonte doesn't have a grip on that backfield. It's scary. One of my other sits was Zach Moss. Expecting a pretty high scoring game here against Kansas City. Derrick Henry only had 46 rushing yards against the Chiefs last week. He's gonna need to catch some passes to put up a good week or find the end zone.
So do you think it's a Chase Brown day against the Chiefs, or do you think that the Chiefs are going to get shut, or the
I mean,
Bengals
if
are going to
they're
get
if
shut down?
they're throwing the ball to the halfback and it's Chase Brown, then could be a Chase Brown day, yeah. But I don't think it's a Zach Moss day.
I think it's just going to end up being a Chase Brown season in Cincinnati. I think he's just going to,
He's gonna slowly take it over.
a week 4, week 5 be the 70-60% snap guy, and then Moss will be the RB2 there.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Streams. I have one. Just a defense. I couldn't figure out. You have 4. Wow. 5. Okay, he's got 5. It's been a busy week at work. I did everything about 15 minutes before we started. So I'm liking Chargers D
I had that on my list as well against Carolina.
against Carolina. I mean, they look good. I'm assuming they looked good last week. They had 15 points against the Raiders. So I'm just assuming they're just going to kind of keep rolling with that.
Doesn't even matter. They could be the second worst defense in the league. They're gonna play well versus Carolina.
That's why, I mean, the way Carolina's looked, like, I'm going to try to stream whoever they're playing every week until something changes. Absolutely. I had the Chargers as well. I'll go my 2 defenses I had other than the Chargers. It's funny because they're just playing each other. The Patriots and the Seahawks. I like picking up either of those defenses for this week. I just think that's going to be a low scoring game. I probably like Seattle's a little more just because I think New England's offense is worse than Seattle's. But I just think you're going to see a lot of running the ball. I think that final is going to be like 13-17 or something like that. So I like the those 2 defenses there. And then 2 quarterback streams. Kind of if you had Love go out and you're looking for some guys to pick up, Stafford against the Cardinals. No Puka, it doesn't bother me. I'm not worried about it. They're going to be fine. Cardinals defense isn't great inside as well. And then Herbert against the Panthers, kind of just the same reason why with the Panthers, like they're just so bad. I mean, if Derek Carr looked that good against them, Justin Herbert's going to look great.
But do they just run the ball?
That's something I was worried about. I think maybe later in the game they will. I still think early in the game that Herbert's going to probably throw it around a little bit. Maybe come the late 3rd quarter, 4th quarter when they're up 28 points or whatever it's going to be, then they'll start running it. But I think for at least the first half, if not into the 3rd quarter as well, he's just going to be slinging it around still.
All right.
There you go. I got Colby Parkinson with Higbee and Puka out. I think if you were a fantasy owner who had Jake Ferguson, who's hurt, maybe I don't know, I can't tell.
Out this week.
Yeah, but they're trying to play it like he's not. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's just like with the Love Packers.
Yeah, either way, I'm starting Parkinson, and I picked him up right away. Higbee, Puka out. The ball has to go somewhere. I think this guy's a pretty good short-term tight end starter as long as those guys are out. I also had Wan'Dale Robinson with his 12 targets. Washington defense, their secondary sucks. Justin Fields, if he can run the ball and just find the end zone with his arms or his legs, just you can't have how many field goals did they kick?
6.
Yeah, just find an end zone one of those times, and his week is so much better.
So much better.
Yeah, those are my streams.
Yeah. Speaking of Justin Fields, Murray made a trade with me last year in a dynasty league.
A bad trade. I
And
won
then
last
this
year,
week-
so it was worth it.
And then this past week, played me in the said dynasty league and didn't have a super flex. He only had one quarterback that was eligible to play. I noticed that like after our matchup, I was like, oh, he didn't play another quarterback.
No, and look, we're in a bad situation right there with that team, but we knew we would be. We said, look, we can win a championship this year, but we're going to trade every pick we have for the next 3 years. And that's exactly what happened. And so you know what? If fans of my team and my program can't be satisfied with the championship from last year for a few down seasons, then that's
But
just
hey, you picked up Malik Willis, so now you do have.
yeah, I had to. I didn't have another quarterback.
I got. You want Carr? I got Carr.
Shit, I have to. We'll talk. We'll talk.
All right. All
Oh,
right.
I got Carr in mine, and it's a 2 QB league. Jalen Hurts, my other QB. Should I start him over Deshaun Watson?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Against the
100%.
Cowboys, he's gonna have to throw the ball against Cowboys.
Yeah, they're going to be losing. He's going to be airing it out. I don't know. I don't know the situation a person has to be starting Deshaun Watson in their lineup this week. I don't even know what could be going on in your life. Nothing, that's for sure.
All right, there it is.
Game picks or selections? What do you want to do, Scal?
We'll do game picks first.
Let's do game picks.
So to recap last week, Casey, we all pushed the Dolphins game. The Dolphins game was a push. I thought it was 3.5. I guess we had it at 3. Regardless, so Casey went 4-4. Juice, you went. What would that be? 2-6. Yeah, 2-6.
Rough.
And then I went 5-3. So that brings my record on the season to 9-4. Jose to 4-9, and Casey to 7-6. So not a bad start. Jose needs to pick it up.
I need to pick it up.
Jose needs
like who's the one guy that picks terrible on
Yep.
those fantasy shows? That's me.
Bucket with Trent.
I'm
Yeah,
booking with
Jose.
Trent. Booking with Jose.
All right, let's book it with Jose.
Kind of a weak slate for college, but we'll start with the one of the 2 ranked matchups. Arizona at Kansas State. Kansas State minus 7.5.
Casey, you go first.
Okay. I was kind of going back and forth on this one, but I think I'm gonna ride with K-State.
You're going K-State here.
What? Okay.
I'm taking K-State, but
You're
yeah,
taking K-State.
yeah.
Sorry, I was reading some text messages. Who's K-State playing?
Arizona in Manhattan, Kansas.
In Manhattan, Kansas. What was the line?
7.5.
Arizona's getting 7.5.
Yes.
I mean, how Kansas State looked against Tulane, I'm gonna take Arizona.
If you would ask me preseason, I would have taken Arizona. Arizona has looked so bad these first 2 weeks, though.
I thought they have a guy
go
for 300 receiving yards.
I know, but they were almost losing that game, and it was bad. I'm gonna take Kansas State here. Next, fun little game. It sucks that they're not as good, but Alabama at Wisconsin. Wisconsin plus 16 at home against Alabama.
Bama. Give me Bama.
Yeah, I'm still gonna take Bama here.
I'm gonna take Wisconsin 16 at home at 2 touchdowns. I know that Bama's and Wisconsin's not very good, but and our last ranked matchup of the week, Boston College at Missouri. Missouri minus 16.
I'm gonna take BC here.
They're a little fiery, but 16's a lot of points. 16's a lot of points. I'm gonna take BC.
This is the one. I'm gonna go Missouri because Boston College, they beat Florida State, but Florida State might just be ass.
Mhm.
So I don't know if that's a good win anymore. I haven't decided yet.
Okay.
Bills at Dolphins, switching
Right.
over to the NFL now. I've seen a few different numbers on this game. I've seen anywhere from 1.5 to 3. We're gonna go 2.5. 2.5.
2.5 by field goal.
Yep.
Give me the Billies. I like.
2.5 Miami.
Yeah, Miami at home -2.5.
Oh crap! I get a text that says Bills on or Trent's on Bills +2.5. As I said it, I think it's just meant to be that. Bills, cue the Bills.
Case.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Miami here.
I am gonna go Buffalo. I think Buffalo wins this game.
Can I take the over? I hope it's just a bowl like 33-35. Like just crazy
Next game, a
for
repeat
fantasy.
of the divisional round in the NFC last year. Buccaneers at Lions. Lions -6.5.
That's a lot. That's a lot, but I'm gonna still roll with the Lions. I think they're just the better team, and I think they win. They win by a touchdown.
Hey, stop it.
I originally had Bucks written down. Last week I had Niners written down and I switched to the Jets, but I'm kind of wanting to switch here, but I think I'm just gonna let it ride after what happened last week and I lost when I switched my pick. So I'm gonna still ride with the Bucks here.
I am also taking the Bucks. It's just that's a lot of points. It's a lot of points. Two more. Bengals at Chiefs. Chiefs -6. Tricky game here, in my opinion. Tricky game.
Super tricky. Nobody
The-
knows what the Bengals are.
That's what I mean. Was last week just a bad showing? Was it a fluke? Burrow has a history of playing well against Kansas City, but I mean, they really looked like shit last week.
Yeah.
The Chiefs are one of two of the best offenses in football. I'm gonna take the Chiefs. They're unstoppable, I think.
I am also going to take the Chiefs. And I just think that it's very rare there's a team that they have where the Chiefs have some like exterior motivation against. I think they're going to come out fight. The Bengals have kind of kicked their ass, in meaningful games. They won that title game, and I think that it's very rare that you can get the Chiefs fired up, and I think this gets them fired up. I got Kansas City covering.
Well, and let's talk about the Chiefs and the Niners for a second. Who is stopping them besides an injury? Especially when the Chiefs get Hollywood Brown back. Are you kidding me? You're gonna have two burners and then Rashee Rice.
No, it's bad.
Like,
I mean, Xavier Worthy looked so good.
are you kidding me?
Pacheco's running the ball so well.
Dude,
That defense looked amazing.
That's why I don't mind having. Did you see my stack that I got going in the Joseph's Buddies League?
Who is it?
I have McCaffrey and Debo now, and then I also have Pacheco and Rashee Rice, and I don't care if they're going to score points. Like, I know that's bad. That's probably not good to have, but still, all those guys are going to score points.
Yep.
I'm thinking real hard about this one. Another one where I had I had Chiefs written down, but I'm gonna go with the Bengals here.
All right.
I'm gonna stray away from the crowd. I'm gonna separate myself from the
I was
pack.
going to say, this is interesting. We have not had a single sweep yet this week. For notes, last week,
Like 4, right?
we had a couple. We all had Tennessee for college football in that one. We all had the Ravens in that lost. We all had the Cowboys in that one. And then we all had
Those my 2 wins.
And that
Those were my 2 wins.
Yeah, that everyone had. And then we all had the Jets that lost. So we went 2-2 on sweeps last week, which isn't bad. Last game, Bears at Texans. Texans -6.5.
I don't think the Bears are. Well, they're wearing the orange jerseys that I hate. I think that the Texans are also up there in those, like, in that top 5 offense consideration after what happened last week. Mixon proved everybody wrong. Diggs proved everybody wrong.
So good.
I think that team's gonna. I think that everybody talking about that team being overrated, I think is wrong.
They look good last week.
They looked good last week, so I'm gonna take the Texans.
I am also going to take the Texans.
Okay, there we go. We got our first sweep. I'm taking the Texans.
The Bears really, I know they won. They didn't look good last week.
That was a
Caleb
fluke.
Williams.
That was a fluke win.
Will Levis
was-
handed him
that
the
was-
game.
You know what that was? That was a win against the Tennessee Titans. That's what it was. Only the
I
Titans would be.
as someone who's been flirting with the Titans a little bit this season. They were up. I was like, damn, that was so good. Like, you were right, man. The Titans are going to be a little frisky this year, and then it all just fell.
Yeah. Yeah.
Scal's selections, real quick. We are 7-4 overall on the season. Not shabby. This one, those of us that remember, this game very much reminds me of the Incarnate Word Nevada game. Arizona State at Texas State. Arizona State is only -1. Where at Texas State? They just beat Mississippi State. They just beat an SEC team. I'm going to take Arizona State.
Rolled.
I am nervous about this, though. Why are they only a 1-point favorite against Texas State? We're going to do it anyways, though. Casey, I know, is having like war flashbacks right now.
What was what Casey, what did you do?
Dude, because like his stupid MyBookie account, he couldn't cash out until he had bet a certain amount. So he put like $400 on the game.
Yeah, it was that account where I put like $50 in, and then it gave me a bunch of free play. And I couldn't cash out until I got to $1,000, and because you had to roll over the free play,
Yeah.
And I got up to, it was like 800 and something, and I just put the difference on the spread to try and get me over the line. And then they lost to
Incarnate Word came in.
How about losing to
with
Georgia Southern last week?
quarterback? Like,
Georgia Southern at least isn't a bad team.
Yeah, but what is? Were you at the game, Casey?
yeah,
I
the fumble on the 5-yard line was nuts.
Yeah, that was rough. Well, and
You know what, though? We're trending in the right direction. I don't care what anybody says. We won a game, which is shocking up to this point in time. And we have been competitive in every game we have played.
It's true.
Could easily be 3-0 right now. There was never a point last season where you could have said that.
I almost mean tweeted Brandon Lewis. I was like this close to doing it.
We're not a fun team to watch, is my issue.
Oh. Brandon Lewis drops back to pass, takes off running.
Yep. A 2-team teaser, Kansas State -1 with Wisconsin +22.5. Indiana -3 at UCLA. UCLA is real bad. Colorado -1, teased with Kentucky up to +30.5. Kentucky's playing at home against Georgia. 30.5. I just hope it's enough. It might not be. Georgia might win that game by 42, but you know what? At home, I'm gonna take 30.5. And then NFL, Bills +8.5, teased with the Raiders +14.5. Again, it was kind of the same thing with the Patriots Bengals game. I just think that the Raiders can keep it close against the Ravens. I don't think they'll win though. Jags -3, probably my favorite play of the week, home against the Browns. Rams +7.5, teased with the Patriots +9.5. Again, just like the points. Texans and Eagles teased together down to -0.5.
I'm looking at my FanDuel right now. I'm looking at all the lines, and I'm like ready to get off so I can just put some. I went up. I thought I was gonna be even after last weekend. Threw a little $9.50 because I don't like having change in my.
I do that all the time.
I put a little $9.50. I only like tens, if tens or fives, like like on the.
And the dollars don't bother me. It's that sometimes I'll throw like a 20-cent 9-leg parlay together that pays out like $2,000 just to see. So I don't have 20 cents in my account.
So I did a little $9.50 same game no sweat parlay on Monday night. I had McCaffrey touchdown, that got voided. Breece Hall touchdown, Garrett Wilson +6.5 or +6 catches, and Debo +50 yards or 50+ yards. So that garbage time Garrett Wilson catch in the fourth quarter, like at the end of the game, won me about $50, 50,
That's
60
electric.
bucks. So that was good. I was up $50 after last weekend after I thought was an abysmal start with the with Notre who lost. I didn't bet Notre Dame. Iowa. Iowa lost, and I had
Iowa was bad. I was on the Kentucky one was bad. Thank God. I went that 14 parlay last week. I went pretty big on, and Kentucky was the 12:30 game. So when they lost, I went and I teased, which is and this is could have been a little stupid, but I teased Tennessee and Nebraska then because those were the last two legs. And I went heavy on that to recoup some of the loss, and that it worked out.
I hit my let's see, bets I won last week where I hit my teaser with Tennessee, Nebraska, and there was another one I got down to like minus a half or something like that.
It was the morning game. Because I had it to
Oh, Texas. Texas.
yeah, against
There's
Michigan.
another orange school.
Yeah.
I took Oregon minus 2.5. I live bet Oregon minus 2.5.
No, that was a fun
Yeah.
game.
Yeah. Because I was waiting till it came down. I was like sitting there. You should have seen me. I was at my buddy's apartment just refreshing DraftKings.
I have something that I think fans of this podcast will be able to relate to, and you guys as well. Bro, it is becoming too big of a pain in the ass to watch football nowadays.
Oh my God.
I know a lot of us just use Stream East, so like not a problem for us. But bro, just to watch college and pro games, you need to have first off, you need to have YouTube TV, and then you need to have the package within YouTube TV.
Mhm.
You need to have Prime, you need to have Peacock, you need to have Paramount, you need Netflix for these Christmas games. For college, you need ESPN Plus, you need all of this shit. Like you need like 10 different services just to watch football this season.
Yeah, that's how America wants it to be.
It's gotten too much, and I'm a little upset by it. There should be, and I know that this is just reinventing cable right here, but
Yes.
all the packages should just come together, and there should just be a football package where I can buy this package, and a little bit of the money goes to all the services, and through that package, I get every football game, college and pro, the entire season.
Yeah, that's cable.
But that's not even cable anymore because you still need all these other shit.
How about the like all the like streaming services are coming together or like HBO, Disney Plus, Hulu.
Yeah.
It's like they're all owned by Disney. It's like, all right, cool. Like what like now it's just gonna be cable again. Like,
Anyway, that was something. That's my boomer take of the day.
how about DirecTV losing whatever they did to Disney?
Dude,
and
it's
ESPN,
so bad.
ABC lost everything.
It's at work because now I do the TVs. We don't have ESPN, any of this shit. We only have 2 cable box channels. So we have ESPN and ESPN2 on Cox, and then we're using streams for the rest of it. But the streams are such a pain in the ass. They need to get this fixed.
That's what I was wondering. Like, how do these like sports books and bars and all this stuff like have like I was at a hotel bar in LA during the playoffs last year, and it was the Saturday game, the Chiefs Dolphins, Chiefs Dolphins. I was watching the people try to sign into a Peacock account on the TV. It was hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, we have to do that. We don't put it up on the TV until we're signed in.
Yeah,
we have 24 DirecTV boxes, 2 cable boxes, and then 3 streaming servers to put stuff up on.
But you have the ticket. You have the NFL Sunday ticket. Yeah, I mean I think it's crazy that like these businesses have to have an Amazon Prime account.
Well, and that's why I realized it at work because with DirecTV not working, I'm signing into Peacock for the Oregon game. I'm signing into ESPN Plus for this. Like it's just you're all over the place.
Yeah, like when I was at my buddy's apartment watching the game, like I spent all Saturday over there, and I was sitting there. I was like, okay, we want to watch the Boise game, but we also want to watch the ASU game and the Fresno State game. They were all on different things.
Yeah, like Fox Sport. It's bad.
Fresno State we only could
It's
watch
bad.
Fresno State on the local like CBS channel in Fresno, so I had to stream it on Mountain West. The Boise game was on Peacock, and then the ASU game was just on the local Arizona channel. Like it was like we couldn't put all of them together. So
That's all I got.
yeah, I know, I get it. I get it. Is there anything left? Coming up on an hour now, I think. Anything we got hot takes for the week? My hot take hit last week
What was your hot take?
that Brian Thomas was going to outperform Christian Kirk.
Mm.
I'll give you one. The Patriots are going to start 2-0.
Okay.
Wow.
They'll win at home this week.
With Kenneth Walker not like questionable, I can see it. I think that's your really only problem is that is.
I mean,
Kenneth
they
Walker.
went into Cincinnati and won. They can win this game at home.
Okay. All right.
I got
I'm a pick 'em pool. I might flip that pick.
Jaden Daniels is a top 5 QB this week.
Ooh. Top 5 fantasy quarterback or
Fantasy.
Thanks.
He probably was last week.
I'll go with. Let's see. Oh, Najee scores twice. Najee gets in the end zone twice this week.
Okay. Very good.
That's my hot take. All right. We'll see y'all next week to see whose hot take hit or not. I guess we'll see y'all later. Peace out.